Hello everyone, how are you all doing today? In this video, we're going to take a deep dive into the version 6.5 Wish banners. And the reason this update is getting so much attention is actually very simple. Both the new characters and the reruns are extremely hard to ignore. This isn't one of those patches where you can just say, new character? Easy skip or easy pull. Your priorities will heavily depend on what your account already has. So instead of a simple answer, version 6.5 is shaping up to be a patch where planning really matters. Let's start with the big picture. In version 6.5, we are expecting the release of a brand new support character, Linnea. At the same time, Lohen is set to appear as part of the ongoing storyline that began in version 6.4. On top of that, the rerun slot is rumored to feature either Raiden Shogun or Mavuika. And depending on which of these two actually returns, the value of this patch could shift dramatically. So first, let's talk about Linnea. Linnea is a Geo Bow character, and her primary role is an off-field support. That's very important to understand from the start. Her value does not come from her personal damage numbers. Instead, it comes from how much stronger she can make your entire team. She revolves around 4 core effects: enemy resistance reduction, team-wide damage buffs, elemental mastery increases, and consistent off-field healing. Resistance shred is universally valuable. It increases damage regardless of your build or team composition. The damage buff continues while your main DPS is actively fighting, meaning you don't lose value during your rotation. And the elemental mastery boost makes her flexible, not only in geo-focused teams but also in reaction-based compositions. That flexibility alone already makes her interesting. One of her most underrated strengths is the off-field healing. Because she can heal from the background, you don't need to swap into a dedicated healer constantly. That means your rotations stay smooth, and your main DPS can remain on the field longer. The result? A much more stable and comfortable gameplay experience. Her elemental skill is the core of her kit. Once activated, its effects persist even after she leaves the field. So the standard playstyle is simple. Switch to Linnea, use her skill, then immediately swap back to your main damage dealer. You don't need to constantly return to refresh it, which keeps your rotations short and efficient. Her elemental burst follows the same philosophy. It further strengthens the team and extends the duration of her supportive effects. Rather than being a source of burst damage, her burst acts as a stabilizer, something that reinforces your overall team consistency. Her passive talents are also fully support-oriented. They enhance resistance shred and other supportive mechanics, and the conditions are tied to maintaining her support state rather than keeping her on the field. Everything about her design screams stability and sustained value. Now let's talk about Constellations. Her first constellation adds extra damage in a controlled, limited way. It doesn't redefine her playstyle. Instead, it provides steady additional output without forcing you to change your rotation. Her second constellation is where things become more noticeable. It increases the team's critical damage and enhances her elemental burst. This is a clear power spike that benefits many DPS characters, especially in longer fights where sustained buffs matter more than quick bursts. Her fourth constellation increases team defense, improving survivability without changing how you play. And her sixth constellation boosts the strength of her buffs even further. It doesn't give her a new role, it simply amplifies what she already does well. So overall, Linnea is a stability-focused support. She enters briefly, deploys buffs and healing, then continues supporting from off-field. Even with higher constellations, her gameplay loop doesn't change dramatically. Instead, her support numbers scale upward in a straightforward way. That's why early evaluations are leaning toward calling her a reliable and flexible support option. However, we should also be realistic. Her final power level will depend on actual release numbers and real in-game performance. On paper, she looks like a consistent enabler rather than a flashy, explosive carry. She won't give you massive screenshot damage moments. Instead, she will quietly raise your team's overall damage floor and stabilize your rotations. For players who value consistency and smooth gameplay, that's extremely attractive. Now, let's move on to Lohen. Lohen made his first appearance in the recent preview program, and his visual design immediately caught attention. He serves as the vice captain of the 5th Company of the Sephiroth Knights and is a member of Varka's expedition force. Even with limited screen time and short dialogue exchanges, he generated a lot of hype. But here's where things get complicated. The biggest discussion surrounding Lohen isn't about his story, it's about how we obtain him. There are rumors that he may not be a limited character and could instead enter the standard banner. However, nothing has been officially confirmed. Because of this uncertainty, many players are taking a wait-and-see approach. If he joins the standard banner, you won't be able to guarantee him the way you can with limited characters. On the other hand, he could become obtainable through annual rewards or future opportunities. That's why the player base is divided. Some want him immediately, regardless of the banner type. Others are willing to wait and potentially get him over time. What makes this situation unusual is that his popularity and character appeal came first, and only afterward did the discussion about acquisition begin. That creates a different atmosphere compared to typical banner announcements. And then, of course, we have the rerun slot. The two strongest candidates right now are Raiden Shogun and Mavuika. And which one appears will significantly impact polling decisions. If Raiden Shogun returns, she represents one of the safest and most proven investments in the game. She offers energy support, consistent damage, and incredible flexibility across many team compositions. For players who don't already own her, or don't have her Constellations, she could easily take priority over new characters. Her track record speaks for itself. If Mavuika returns instead, the direction of the patch shifts slightly. Her presence emphasizes offensive power and aggressive team setups. In that scenario, the value of stable supports like Linnea may rise even further, especially for players who want to strengthen their team core rather than chase another main DPS. So when we look at version 6.5 as a whole, this doesn't feel like a must-pull for everyone patch. Instead, it feels like a choice-driven patch. What do you value more? Stability and team enhancement with Linnea? Character appeal and story importance with Lohen? Or proven strength and meta security with a powerful rerun like Raiden Shogun, or potentially Mavuika? Each option competes directly for your Primogems. And that's why planning is so important this time. This isn't just about hype. It's about understanding your account's needs. Do you lack a strong universal support? Are you missing a top-tier energy battery? Or are you simply pulling for a character you love? So now the question goes to you. What will you do in version 6.5? Are you waiting for the rerun? Are you going all in for Linnea? Or are you holding your Primogems until Lohen's banner type is officially confirmed? Let me know your plans. And if you want more updates, banner analysis, and future breakdowns, make sure you stay tuned for upcoming content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.